Thank you so much, Mr. Arun, for this warm welcome. I'm delighted to be a part of all of you, and especially Kuryakos sir. I mean, one of my best years of teaching had been with sir, and to see him here and to be a part of, sir's team. I mean, I'm really, really blessed. I hope I do justice to the time that you have given. And as Mr. Arun, you have said that I hope I'm able to empower you. I hope I'm able to uplift the team here. All right, so I will just share my presentation to begin the discussion. So I will just run through the details, and I will be happy to, answer some questions by the end. I will be happy to.
Sure.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm here to talk about the Fulbright Awards. Now, for some of us, it might be pretty new, and for some, definitely, we might have heard of it. So I'm going to run, all of you through the program, the opportunities, that we may embark through this, program. So to begin with, this Fulbright program, it was founded by the US Senator William Fulbright. So it's a grant for the international education, and especially for schools, educators, students, and professionals. Now, Fulbright program, it is one of the most prestigious and elite award program worldwide, and it covers more than 150 countries as of now. Now, the Fulbright program, it is sponsored by the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs of US Department of State. In India, the program is coordinated by USIEF, the United States India Educational Foundation. USIEF, it is administered by 10 board of directors with representation from both India and from US. The headquarters for USIEF is in Delhi, but we also have offices in Mumbai, Chennai, and also in Calcutta. Now, USIEF, the core, the mission, if you call it as a mission, the mission is to promote international understanding and to promote global citizenship between, for Indian citizens, especially by providing a platform of exchange, between the professionals of India and US. And when I talk about professionals, it could be, it could be research scholars, it could be students, still through their, the journey of education. It could be professionals, it could be us teachers. So now in this program, we are supported by fellowship. Okay, as I mentioned, it provides opportunity for higher education. And also the USIEF is pretty keen on promoting the Indian institutions developing link with United States. So these are some of the major, areas of focus that USIEF has. Now, coming to the programs. So I said that, so as I mentioned, USIEF is the organization that sort of, promotes or that handles the Fulbright program. So there are different programs. So what I'll do is I will quickly go through some of the programs. Now, it is just with an intention to give everybody an idea about, the different opportunities that, we may have. And this is something which we can very, very, we can actually share with our existing students who plan to pursue their, education, maybe within India or maybe outside, but then, they definitely get supported by, these Fulbright programs. So we can definitely spread word and let them know that there is some opportunity like that, okay, which definitely is something that would, enhance their overall, what do you say, the enhance their learning. And most of all, I think, it's something, it's prestigious. It's something nice to have in your profile, because it's not just about your profile, it's the experience that it brings. So this is something that we can speak about. All right, so we have, okay, the first category of like awards or the fellowship, what we have are the Fulbright-Nehru Masters Fellowship. So you see, like, you see many programs which come under the Nehru Fulbright Fellowship. So there are some master's programs, there are some doctoral, there are some postdoctoral programs. Well, now, this is something that, that I would recommend that you, like, mention to your students so that they can, browse about it, get an idea, and possibly, get into it. But, my main focus is to come to the teacher. So I will, move to the next category. So the next category is the Fulbright Kalam Climate Fellowship. So this is to address, this is a program basically addressing the climate changes. So there are doctoral programs, there are postdoctoral programs, and there are, the academic and professional excellence program where the experts from the either countries, they visit each other, they get into these discussions with, keeping the climate change in mind. So that's one of the things. Now, the other programs are Hubert Fellowship Program, the Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistant Program. Now, this is a program which is designed specially for the university, the college level teachers who are just into the profession. And it largely caters to English teachers, teachers who teach Hindi, and Urdu teachers. So these are the teachers who can apply for the Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistant Program. And then you have the Fulbright Scholar in Residence Program, where, the scholars from the either countries, they visit visit the other country and, and present, present their learning thoughts with the different institutions. Now, coming to the most important part, Fulbright programs for the teachers. I think this is the core. This is what we actually wanted to talk about today. So Fulbright program for teachers. So one of the first program is a Fulbright Distinguished Award in Teaching. Now, this was the award that, I had received in 2010. And the second one is the Fulbright Teacher Exchange Program. And then we have some other programs as well, which is coordinated by USIEF, like the Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program. We commonly call it as TEA. We also have the International Leader in Educational Programs. All right. So these are the programs designed exclusively for teachers. Now, in 2010, when I had received the Fulbright, the Distinguished Award in Teaching, the same year, my colleague, from the same school, Trivandrum International School, had received the Fulbright Teacher Exchange Program as well. So we were two teachers, selected for the Fulbright program in 2010. So what I would like to do is, I would like to take you through my journey of Fulbright Distinguished Award in Teaching. Now, what I want to highlight here is that though we have different Fulbright programs, the basic of the basic how the different programs run is pretty similar. The selection procedure is pretty well laid out. The way the whole program is, designed to cater to the individual is, extensive and again, beautifully planned out. So what I would do is that I will take you through my journey of the Fulbright DAT. Now, this is going to give you an idea about how possibly the whole program functions, and it will also give you an idea what to look up to. Now, the Fulbright Distinguished Award in Teaching, okay, it's generally announced in September and October. Now, the place where the announcement is done is the website. We have to go into the USIEF website. That's the area where it is published. The year that I had applied for the program, I remember this had come in the newspapers in Kerala. So that was, I had seen it there as well. But this is roughly the time where the advertisements for applications are put up. Now, the application forms has to be submitted around November, and it has to be submitted to USIEF. Now, the application forms, it includes, it's sort of a package which includes a sabbatical leave authorization form. Now, this is a form which has to be filled in by the management of the school, wherein the management of the school says that, we are fine sending our teacher for the program, and the teacher will be on leave during the program. So this is actually sort of an authentication of the leave from the school authorities. We have an administrator referral form, again coming from the school authorities, which sort of gives in the details about you being a teacher there, and they would have their details regarding your role and responsibilities in the school and things like that. It's not very detailed or a short form, but this is again that comes from the school. You have to have 2 recommendation letters. It could be from anyone. It could be people from your school, your current school where you're working, or it could be from, any other school where you have previously worked. Now, USIEF always says that, let the recommendation letter come from people who actually know you. And the recommendation letter is something that you shouldn't be accessing. I think it goes very confidential. So there are informations that are passed which says that, the person who writes the recommendation letter has to seal the letter in an envelope and then hand it over. So what happens is that the person who applies for the program doesn't get to see what is written. All right. So I think that is okay. And then the application, it includes essays. So there are 3 essays that, one has, or the applicant has to write. It's largely is based on you as a teacher, you as an individual, you as an educator. So the titles of the essays are, sort of released with the application. So it's largely to do with teaching. Now, the most important aspect of the application for the Fulbright Distinguished Award in Teaching is the proposal for the action-based research project. This is crucial. This is important for the Fulbright DAT program. Now, here we have to sort of, every applicant will have to think about the area where the person would like to research on. So, and you have to, I think there was a word limit of around, 1,500 words, where you had to put in all your, ideas and thoughts about the research project. We actually call it as the capstone project. And when it comes to the selection, the capstone project or the project proposal that you submit is actually very critically screened and looked at. So this forms the the application procedure. Now, once the application is sent out, if you're selected, then you get the call for the interview in by around Jan-Feb. And the interview, it happens in New Delhi in the headquarters. That's where the interviews happen. And the final results are out by April, like, the final, the result of the people selected is out by April. Now, this is followed by the selected candidates appearing for the TOEFL examinations, and there are these preps that happen. Following that, there are these orientation programs that happen. Because I was based in Trivandrum that time, for the orientation purpose, I had to travel to Chennai. So there was a 3-day orientation program that was held. And the selected candidates, they leave for US in around July. And the program lasts, or it is a semester-long program. And the whole program, it sort of, ends by December or January. Sometimes we might see a slight alteration in the date here and there, especially now because of the COVID situation. Okay, there were like some slight orientation, but largely this is the timeline of the publication of the program application, the selection procedure, and the end of the program. So it's this. Now, so this is the website, usief.org.in is the website where we can go in and we can check. The details are always mentioned. We can go and click into the respective programs that we are interested in, and we get all the details there as well. Now, coming to the program structure. So what do we do there? What do we do there? So that is something that I'm going to take you through. Now, the selected candidates have to travel to the US. And in the US, the candidates are, they are put up with different universities in the sense, in different year, it is a different university that sort of, hosts the program. So the year that I had gone, it was the University of Maryland, which is very close to close to Washington, DC, which was the host. So we were hosted by this university. So we were with the university. We worked very, very closely with the College of Education. And so there, what we did was our aim being there was to do our research project, conduct the project, have discussions, meet people, and we we do whatever, and we try to, we sort of, accumulate information and we complete our research project. So that's the primary aim. In addition to that, we visit different schools. So the school visit may or may not be based on your respective, research project. It may or may not be. Sometimes, we go in as visitors to different schools, and, whatever area of expertise we have, we try to share with them, and definitely we hear them out. So that is something. Sometimes the school visits are sort of, programmed to address to your research work. So that also happens. We have these weekly seminars that happen in the university, in the College of Education. There are a lot of conferences that happen within the University of Maryland, and also some which happens otherwise, there are conferences and workshops on the national level that happens, where we Fulbright scholars, get the opportunity to be a part of. In addition to all of this, the University of Maryland, the number of courses that it runs, we get the very rare opportunity to select any 2 courses of our interest. Again, it may or may not be to do with the research project that you are doing. It may or may not be. The only the point here is that, unlike the normal students who get credit for the courses, you don't get the credit. What we say is that we audit the program. So what happens is that there are these courses that run for, for a semester. So we also become a part of the class. We are also part of the class. Okay, we try to do almost everything that the students do, but it's just that we don't get that certificate and we don't get the credit, but we get that opportunity. So that's something that happens when you're selected in the program. Now, coming to the action-based research project. Now, for me, my project was based on the theory of multiple intelligences. So I called it Teach to Reach. That's the caption that I had given my work. Now, when I was applying for the Fulbright program and when I was trying to think about the project proposal that I had to, I initially was lost. I didn't know what to what project to think about, being very open. So one of the ideas that came into my mind was the theory of multiple intelligence. I'm sure all the teachers are aware of this. I'm sure this is one of the aspects that we learn when we do our the B.Ed program and all of that. So we know about it. So now, as we have learned it in a B.Ed program, and we know as educators that our students are very different. We know that there are some children who are kinesthetic. We know that there are some who are visual learners. We know that there are some people who some students who are good with their logical thinking. I myself had been a very different student. I know that I had learned, the way I learned was very different from the way my friends learned. I knew it. So the big question was, we know about children being blessed with different abilities and different types of intelligences. So the big question that I had was, now, if I am a teacher, I do know about these intelligences, but then how do I teach my class of multiple intelligences? If I have 20 students, I might have all different students, different interests, different abilities. So how do I teach for them? That was the whole idea. So my project was largely about investigating the ways by which I as a teacher can bring in the understanding of multiple intelligence into my teaching to be able to reach out to my learners. So that was my project. Now, so this was the University of Maryland, where we were placed. We were here for 6 months. And so for my capstone project, Teach to Reach, which I just mentioned, on multiple intelligence, Dr. McGinnis, now you can see in the picture, he was my mentor. So every candidate who gets selected for the program gets a mentor based on the project that you're doing. See, what you want to do is completely your choice. So once you're selected, your project proposal is studied, and then you are given a mentor. So he was my mentor, a person who supported me immensely. And the success of my experience there was hugely because of this gentleman. So I definitely can't thank him enough for all what he had done to support me. So now, how I completed my entire research project was, talking to experts, visiting schools where there were some aspects of multiple intelligences idea brought into the classroom, and definitely, meeting up with people and attending conferences. Now, for me, my biggest blessing had been interacting with Dr. Howard Gardner by himself. I hope we all know that it was Dr. Gardner, who proposed the theory of multiple intelligences. He's called as the father of multiple intelligences. So I had that blessing to be able to interact with him and, in fact, meet him in person. So, and Then it was Dr. Thomas Armstrong, extremely experienced educator, having an experience of more than 45 years. He is the executive director of the American Institute for Learning and Human Development. He's also an author and a speaker, and very well known. I'm sure we have heard about him. And other expert that I met, like I interacted with, unfortunately I couldn't meet, was Sean Lane. Now he was actually, an actor and an educator, a very rare combination that we see. So he actually founded a national art education consulting company. And he also works with the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. So what he tries to do is, bring in art into education. And believe me, I have seen some examples of it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful how they do it. And the last person, and a person whom I interacted on a very, on a regular basis, was Marlo Castillo. She was a teacher. And she actually followed Sean Lane, very seriously. And it was in Marlo's class that I had seen that art integration happening. So when I remember the first class that I had visited, I saw the lesson begin with music. I thought, okay, it was a music lesson. It went on to some bit of a drawing art and that kind of a thing. And then it was some kind of an activity. When everything ends, I understand that it was a math lesson. I mean, it was, for me, it was a very beautiful experience, very, very insightful is what I would say. So, it was about, when I look back at that particular, class, I recollect all the children actively engrossed. They enjoyed the music, they enjoyed the art, they enjoyed the activity, but by the end, they have learned a concept of mathematics. So that was beautiful, all right? So that was very nice. So these were the experts that I had met. And the two schools, the two schools mentioned here, they tried to incorporate some bit of art integration and multiple intelligences in the school. So I had been very frequently visiting them. And as I said, conferences. Now here largely it was about the science educator. So I am a biology person. So it was about the science educators coming in and, discussing, bringing in the ideas about bringing in multiple intelligences along with the other, science concepts. So this was the entire method that, I had used to complete my research project. Now, so this is Dr. Gardner. This is Mr. Armstrong. This is Sean Lane. And this is my good friend, Marlo Castillo. So people who helped me through the process and helped me complete my project. And here, so this is me. I had visited the Harvard University, and it was to meet Dr. Gardner. So this was something, I think, I captioned this picture as beyond dreams. I mean, an opportunity like this, I mean, like I had never dreamt of being in Harvard. I'm really telling you, it was something beyond my dreams. So just like, some time that I spent in that, the whole beautiful institution was amazing. And being in Dr. Gardner's office and, interviewing him had been extremely insightful, extremely insightful. I would like to tell you something very, very small and simple that he had told me. So I had gone to him with my huge list of questions. So he was very patient enough to, answer all my queries. Now, by the end, he just said, Kavita, there's one that I want to tell you, that, teaching for multiple intelligences, it begins the moment the teacher thinks and realizes about, about she or he being in a class with multiple intelligence. The moment a teacher realizes that the class that he or she is in is all the students are not the same, there begins the teaching for multiple intelligences. And after years, it's 12 years, after this program, and this is something that I really, really relate to and agree to. So that was Dr. Gardner. And this was one of the schools that I had, visited for collecting data for my research project, that is Montgomery Blair High School. This was a school, John Dewey High School in New York. And this was Auburndale High School, which was like pretty close to the University of Maryland. So we had, and this was Whooton High School, again, extremely high performing school around the Washington, D.C. area. And this was the school, the Kensington Parkwood Elementary School. Now this is, my friend Marlo Castro's class. Now this was the bunch of kids who had amazed me, with their math learning that I just mentioned. Extremely extremely energetic and enthusiastic students. So this was when, one of the interactions I had with them, and they wanted me to talk about India. So I had to even spot where India was in the globe. So it was just one of those interactions there with the school. And finally, after all the school visits, finally, after all the discussions that I had with experts, and finally, after all the references and the readings I had made, I had to put up my learning and do my presentation. So this was the last week of we being in the University of Maryland, and this was the last phase of my Fulbright journey. So here, this was the presentation on my project that I had given, and here it is, it continues. So we had people from the US Department of State coming for our presentations and being a part of the discussions. So here, after everything gets over, I'm certified, I'm given the certificate, or I'm given the award of Fulbright Distinguished Award in teaching. And this was a very formal, lunch where, believe me, more than eating, it was a lot of talking and it was a lot of discussion that we had. Now here what we see is actually, educators coming from different parts of the world. We had representation from Argentina. We had people coming from Finland. We had people from Singapore. So we had people coming from all around the world. And so this was the last leg of our program. So there it is. This is the day I got my award. And going to US, one of my very weird ideas was to see the snowfall. I'd never witnessed a snowfall. So the day we were awarded, we come out, and this was a snowfall, just a casual thing. I thought I'll just put it up here. So, this was, this marked the completion of my entire journey. And very quickly, I will just run you through, few more glimpses. So definitely major focus of the entire program was professional. It was the research and research project, but there were things which which were added into the Fulbright experience. Understanding the US culture, being a part of some of their celebrations, Thanksgiving. We read about it, we see the pictures, but to be a part of all of that, to seeing what actually a Black Friday shopping means like. So there were a lot of additional experiences that we also had. So so I'll just run you through before I can take your questions. So here, this is the first day that we had, reached Washington, D.C., and we had a 3-day program, orientation program. So here I am. And here is Team India. There were like 6 of us selected from India that year. And that year, the major grant was given to India. So USIF could have more teachers going in. But, it depends on the grant that USIF gets per year. That sort of, actually determines how many candidates would get selected. So this is again one. Now here, this is the entire cohort of, Fulbright DAT, for 2010. So we have people from different countries put in together. So we were the cohort for 2010. And here, this is where we land in the place where we were put up, we were staying. So this was where we stayed. So here we are, we all are waiting for us to sort of, get in. We are just trying to fill in, a couple of, forms for the formality reason. This was the kind of accommodation that was given to us. Now, this was the welcome dinner in the University of Maryland, the first day. And this is one of those, regular conferences that we had at the university. This was one of the visit. We actually, I must say that, in 6 months, I've visited 13 different states in US. Don't ask me how many states I have traveled in India. It's very less. But, it amazes me, the time that we had, and, we could travel. We did a lot of work. So this was a team, we worked in and out. We worked day in and out. But there were times where we actually kept some time to travel around, see places. So these are just some of the different places that we traveled. So this is the Niagara Falls, something that I had always wanted to, see. So this is Philadelphia. This is Baltimore. This is Boston. This is Georgia. And this is New Jersey. Now we were here actually to attend a conference, and we managed to sort of go around, sort of have a look at the place as well. This was New York. This was Virginia. This is, again, my first experience in snow. I can't tell you how happy I was. It was like all of us, I think most of us, for that matter, we literally were like kids in the snow. So yeah, that was something. So this is the falls. That's something I've always seen these beautiful pictures that my cousins send, but to be there during the fall time and to see the leaves change color was amazing. But this was for Thanksgiving. I mean, beautiful experience. We were actually hosted by one of the college, the university professors at their place. So, and this is the Black Friday shopping. Oh my God, this was some experience, I must say. And this is just one of a weekend fun. We would often gather, like when work became a lot, when things got stressful, we always tried to get together. We had sort of a potluck dinner happening. So it was being there and relaxing, but working and sort of handling stress, everything happening together. And we often met. So this was where we stayed. So this was one of the weekends where we were meeting, we would talk about the different things. So this was one of the e-sessions by, my friend from Argentina who was taking. So it was in 2012. So she was talking about podcast and how, she uses them with her students and all of that. So we were trying to experiment all of that. So, and This is with Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. Now, Bill Gates was awarded with the International Peace Award that year, and we Fulbrighters, we had the invite, and we were blessed to be a part of the function and hear Mr. and Mrs. Gates, speak. Beautiful people, I must say. And this was with, the ambassador, Meera Shankar. We were like, it was nice to be invited to the Indian Embassy. Dr. Meera Shankar, had that, she was nice enough to, sit down with us, talk to us, hear about our project, hear about our work. And she was always there extending help to all of us. So one of those very blessed experiences, I must say. I think with this, I would end my presentation on the Fulbright program. And this is the quote that I, had always projected whenever I had spoken about my Fulbright program. So thank you so much. And best wishes to all of you. And I would definitely, look forward to hear from Mr. Kuriakose sometime saying that, Kavita, we have a Fulbright scholar from our school as well. So all the best, all of you. And
thank you, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Definitely.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.